Welcome, race fans, to the Gateway Motorsport Park. We're here at Gateway tonight for a heck of a race that should be put on by the NMNTS Truck Series guys. And currently, we're coming in right in the middle of qualifying, so we'll throw up the current qualifying results for you guys at home to watch. And again, we're at Gateway Motorsports Park. It's a very uniquely shaped oval, wide corners in turns 1 and 2, or rather a wide turning radius, and then when you get down into the flat of 3 and 4, it's a much tighter corner, and then long straightaways in between. And currently, Bradley P. Wilson is on the pole right now with a 33.61. Aiden Young, we saw him last night in the Super Elite models, be right behind the pole time and right in the mix of things all night long. And what do you know, he's back up into second place currently in qualifying. Corey Walters in third. Now, I'll be the only one up here in the booth tonight. This is Andrew Cardinale as normal with PSI TV. Unfortunately, we couldn't wrangle Brennan Elshoff into joining me up here, but it should... Alright, we're coming back. It's all coming back now. Alright. Sorry, we had just a hiccup there in the broadcast, and for a second it wasn't showing me anything with the audio levels, but we're back, and currently Chevys have taken up the entire top 5 in qualifying, with Spence Thompson now moving up into the 3rd position, putting Corey Walters back to 4th, and Jared Beasley to 5th. Michael Redding currently the highest Toyota in the number 2 truck, and he is in 6th place. Trevor Harmon and Terry Mason follow him up in 7th and 8th. And then the 5th row currently would be made up by a couple of Toyotas, newcomer Jared Wishon and Ryan Daniels. If we go to 11th through 20th, we've only got about 18 trucks here tonight. Sorry, yeah, 18 trucks. The 94 of Robbie Buckner is currently 11th, with David Heiza, Craig Lerman, Derek Robinson, Tyler Justice, Clayton Kurtz, Travis Pryor, and Kelsey Rogers so far not taking a time. Do excuse me if my voice, if I just kind of stop talking for a moment. I'm probably clearing my throat, as I mentioned last night. Still a little bit sick, coming off of a sickness the last little while, but we're getting through it, and yeah, should be all good very soon. But tonight we've got 100 laps on hand here for the NMNTS guys, and there will be some stage racing going on. The first 2 stages will end at laps 40 and 80, with a 20-lap stage to the finish. So it's a bit different from NASCAR in that the long stages come first, whereas normally in NASCAR you only have 1 long stage, 2 short ones. The NMNTS for 2018 has decided to go with 2 short ones, or 2 long ones and a short one to finish the race off. And as the session rolls over into into the race, it looks like IRA TVO may need to be updated, but we've got the field gridding on the front straightaway. Bradley Wilson is your pole sitter here tonight, with Aiden Young to his outside. And just a moment here, I'm going to see if our grid will work for us tonight. So unfortunately, the grid is a bit skewed, it's a bit messed up in a few different ways, but as we go through, you can see some of the drivers in the field tonight. I'm not really sure why exactly that's happening. And actually, I just figured it out. Alright, so we'll come right back through. Do want to mention to anybody that watches now or afterwards, I'm new to this software that I'm using for the overlay on the stream, so I'm still working out a few kinks, and I think I just figured it out, and I have. So Bradley Wilson is your pole sitter, with Aiden Young to his outside. In row number 2, we're going to have Spence Thompson on the inside out of Michigan, with Corey Walters on his outside in 4th place. The inside of row number 3 is going to be taken up by the number 15 of Jared Beasley out of Alabama, Michael Redding out of Arkansas to his outside. In 7th place, Bullhead City, Arizona's Trevor Harmon will be starting alongside Terry Mason In row number 5, it's going to be Jared Wishon, the newcomer to the NMNTS, and Ryan Daniels in the number 52. In row number 6, it'll be Robbie Buckner and Tyler Justice. Row number 7 will be Derek Robinson. It shows me there I'm not racing, I promise. In row number 8 will be Clayton Kurtz and Travis Pryor. Row number 9 will be David Heiza and Kelsey Rogers. And at the tail end of the field, Craig Lerman in the number 69 will be starting 19th. So as we get ready to go racing here, we'll switch that over to the race. And Bradley Wilson hasn't gotten a truck win in the NMNTS just yet. He's been running this league. Actually, he's league owner here and hasn't gotten a win in the truck series. But I think this could be, a time to show that he's got what it takes to get one. He just hasn't had that chance just yet. So I'd be watching for Bradley Wilson to take the show. Comes around turns 3 and 4 and gets ready to take the green flag. If anyone out there is watching, go ahead and make your pick now of who you think will win this race tonight. There's 100 laps. Again, the stages will be ending at 40 and 80 with a 20-lap stage to end it off. Come to the green flag, waiting on the green flag now. Bradley Wilson has the green in the air, gets on the loud pedal, and gets away from everyone behind him, trying to get that truck out ahead of Aiden Young before they get to turns 1 and 2. Not going to do it just yet, but I'd imagine coming out of turn 2, Bradley Wilson will have an advantage. Spence Thompson moves a little bit backwards on that start, and actually Aiden Young has the run out of turn 2. He's going to clear Bradley Wilson down the back. Aiden Young still motoring away with this lead. Bradley Wilson close in tow. Corey Walters behind him. Michael Redding currently in 4th. Made the pass on Spence Thompson there for 4th place. And Spence Thompson followed even further back now. Bradley Wilson going to hang on to 2nd place so far. We'll check in on Spence as he's moving in the wrong direction right off the start. Looks like the race is going to the wall, but soon Spence is going to fall into the clutches of Jared Beasley if he isn't careful. He's still holding on to 5th and wide entry into 3 and 4. Looks like maybe he's looking for that late apex to get a run at the number 2 with Michael Redding, but Bradley Wilson's still trying to work on Aiden Young up at the front. I know Bradley Wilson, even though this is an off-season race, he's going to be very hungry to show what he can do out in the lead. He loves Gateway Motorsport Park, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him really dominate this race if he can get back around the number 9. He knows the stage is coming up, so and obviously Aiden knows that as well. That's why he's blocking down off into turn 3, and they both go a little bit wide. Or actually, Aiden was able to get some grip down the bottom, but Bradley Wilson missed the entry just a little bit. Luckily, he's far enough ahead of Corey Walters right now. It's not going to bother him at all. And I had the audio a little too high that entire time. Apologies there. But basically, we've been watching this battle. Corey Walters starting to fall back, but he has made it up into the 3rd position. Spence Thompson falling back. Bradley Wilson still right on the bumper of Aiden Young, trying to get that past Aiden, get back into the lead. Bradley Wilson, probably the hungriest out there. He knows he can win. He's tasted it so many times and just hasn't been able to close one of these races out. He may have gotten a piece of the wall there, but looks like the right side of the truck is perfectly fine. He'll continue on with maybe a dent or a scratch here or there, and looks like he's got a fast pedigree Chevrolet under him tonight. It just doesn't quite have what it needs to get up there and catch that number 9 right now. Bradley Wilson still trying to catch up to the number 9, but while we watch this battle, there's some other battles going on in the field. I know one guy that we're going to want to look at is going to be Ryan Daniels. He's actually fallen back. He started a little further up, and as you can see, he's starting to fall back. Yeah, he started 10th and currently running in the 14th position. He's definitely another one of the hungry guys. Hasn't had the chance quite like Bradley Wilson. Actually, he just got the fence. And this is probably his first time coming here, but I know he's going to want me to shout him out at some point tonight, so I want to give him some TV time. Unfortunately, I gave him the wrong kind of TV time as he ended up getting the wall in 3 and 4 as he's learning this track. He came in with almost 0 practice time, so got to cut him some slack there. But he's doing what he can in that Daniels Cardinale Incorporated machine, and turn2news.com on the side of the car tonight. And Robbie Buckner actually made the pass on him just a moment ago while Ryan was in the fence. So Robbie Buckner, another one of the hungry guys in the NMNTS, and doesn't really get a whole lot of fame here, but is one of the more integral parts of the league, I'd say. So Robbie Buckner running a pretty nice car out there tonight, or truck rather, and we saw Ryan Daniels in the distance get very loose out of turn 2. These guys will downshift a little bit more than likely throughout the course of the race, especially in turns 1 and 2. I guarantee you they'll be downshifting into 3rd gear to get the run up out of turn 2. It's just a common thing here on iRacing at Gateway Motorsport Park. I don't think they actually do it in the real races, but at least here on iRacing, that's something that commonly happens. And Bradley Wilson trying to get that run up on Aiden Young still. Spence Thompson, meanwhile, has made it back around Michael Redding for the 4th position. So Spence Thompson in the number 89 going back in the right direction, just ahead of the Red Man Snuff number 2, piloted tonight by Michael Redding. And Michael Redding out of Arkansas, probably a bit of an intimidator figure here in the NMNTS series. He definitely runs aggressive, and especially on these short tracks. This isn't really short track, but it has short track aspects. I think if the straights were longer, it'd be a great short. Or the straights were shorter, sorry, it'd be a great short track. But Mike Redding, I know, will want to try and close this one out here tonight as we head off into the 2018 season. And actually, a truck slowed down low down the back straightaway. That's going to be Trevor Harmon in the number 27 Grinch machine, and he's getting passed by a whole plethora of trucks. And a car loose out of turn 4. That's going to be Jared Wishon, the newcomer. He was able to hang on to it, though, but he definitely got loose coming out of turn 4, right around Derek Robinson and Terry Mason. So he's looking to try and get some grip out of turn 2. He's not going to have it. He's going to have to give way to that number 75 of Terry Mason. And it looks like Jared Wishon now going to do battle with the Wins Toyota Tundra of Derek Robinson, just ahead of one of Derek's teammates. Actually, as Derek Robinson has a moment, slides way up the track, almost into the wall here at Gateway. And I tell you what, that's pretty hard to do in turns 3 and 4, but he's going to hang on to it. Actually gave him a great run out of the corner. That's going to launch him up to the 75 and give him the chance to make a move into turns 1 and 2, but you're not going to want to try and pass in turns 1 and 2, at least out on the bottom, because that's exactly what happens. You may get the run through turn 1, but out of turn 2, the car on the outside will have the run out, and you won't be able to do anything with it as you tighten up on corner exit. But David Heiza, his teammate, cut him a little bit of slack there in the Hallmark International Chevy Silverado. I almost said Chevy Tundra, but in that Hallmark Chevy Silverado, gave him a break out of turn 2 and let him get back in line. And those guys are teammates. They're not running the same manufacturer tonight. It's actually a truck with some damage just ahead of these guys is going to be Jared Beasley in the number 15. He's got a ton of damage to the back end of that Extreme Lawn Care Chevrolet and a bunch more to the right side. I'm not sure what happened to him. Larry Dickerson asking when Daytona kicks off the next season. Daytona will be brought to you by the NMNTS Racing Series in February. It'll be brought to you, I believe, on the exact date of February 19th. It'll be the day after the Daytona 500, and I can't confirm that to you because I've got to work on plans to try and still be here, or at least get my place covered, because I'll be going to the Daytona 500 if everything goes correctly from here. So, the NMNTS Racing Series will be kicking off their season in the Truck Series, or at least all across the board, the same weekend as the Daytona 500. And we saw Jared Beasley have that big moment just a while ago, and it's kind of separated this little pack that he's leading from the rest of the field, as it looks like Trevor Harmon was able to gap himself over these guys once again. Actually, no, Trevor Harmon has fallen further back, so excuse me there. But Jared Beasley has fallen back to this group, but is leading this group around the racetrack, and he's got a lot of rear-end damage, a lot of right-side damage as well, but is continuing on with some sort of success. He's still in 8th position. There's only about 15 trucks on the track here tonight, unfortunately. Just, being that it's the off-season, there's no points at stake. The field size isn't exactly going to be the strongest. But back up to the front of the pack, it's going to still be Bradley Wilson trying to chase down that number 9 truck of Aiden Young, and they're still doing battle. They're still very close, and Bradley Wilson doesn't have a whole lot of chasing to do to catch him, but he definitely has a lot of work to get by him. As we'll go on board in the number 51 now. You can hear Bradley Wilson trying to pick the throttle back up, and actually he's going to have a run on Aiden Young here down the front straightaway and into turn 1. We'll see if he actually does anything with it. Gives Aiden a shot down the front straightaway into turn 1. He was able to get off Aiden's back bumper before he sent him off into the corner a little too fast, but definitely letting Aiden know that he's there and he is hungry for that lead. And when you see the trucks have that little backfire out of turn 2 like we saw there on the right side of the 51, that's because they're downshifting. So they're getting out of the gas, they're shifting real quick, and that's what causes that backfire, and you'll see the exhaust pipes flare up a little bit. Normally it just happens when you're getting back in the gas or getting out of the gas sometimes, but I believe that's because they're shifting down into third gear and then back into fourth. And Bradley Wilson making the move for the lead into turns 1 and 2. Doesn't have anything to... Actually, he's going to get the run on the inside. Aiden Young messed up on the top side. So Bradley Wilson went off into that corner a little bit too hard, and I think got on the brakes a little bit too hard, and almost lost it on the inside. We saw him bobble, and then Aiden Young just pushed up. He was on the outside of Bradley and just pushed up towards the wall, but that gave Aiden the run down the back straightaway to clear Bradley off into turn 3. And these guys are battling very hard for being lap 17 of 100. So Bradley Wilson still trying to chase down that number 9. I showed you a couple of cameras there out the back of this number 51 just to show the massive gap back to third place, Corey Walters. And Corey Walters, the guy who's also going to be pretty hungry to make something happen in this series. He doesn't normally run necessarily up in the front, at least not in the top 3. Normally that's taken up by the likes of Mike Bruno and Tyler Justice and otherwise, especially Spence Thompson in there as well. But Corey Walters able to show that he's got speed, obviously, because he's running third place, and has a pretty good margin back to fourth place, Michael Redding. Michael Redding has made the pass to get back around Spence Thompson, and now Travis Pryor starting to move in on Spence as well. Travis Pryor, a new guy to this NMNTS group. I believe he normally runs in the Extreme Motorsports 99.com league, but he's making a start over here in the offseason to test the waters, and actually Craig Lerman is right here in this battle as well. But these three are right on top of each other, and I tell you what, it's going to be interesting to see if Travis Pryor can make something happen with Spence Thompson. Spence Thompson trying to get the run out of turn 2, actually. He's got a run on the number 2 of Michael Redding. I don't think he's going to... Actually, he's going to have a position to make the move into turn 3. So Spence Thompson trying to pass the number 2 Michael Redding, actually got the curb a little bit. He's going to slide up the track now. Travis Pryor looking to the inside, trying to find a gap underneath the 89, but Spence shuts that door, and this gets Craig Lerman right in this battle. So this guy, Travis Pryor, I've never really raced a whole lot with him or watched him race, but I know he's got a decent amount of talent. I've raced him before, just I don't remember exactly what he was like then, but I mean, he's got speed. Not to say that, you know, at any point he was not fast, but he's definitely got speed right now, and he is working on that number 89 of Spence Thompson. Spence Thompson, the 2016 champion here at the NMNTS Truck Series, and wow, almost contact made. Travis just pushed up out of turn 4, almost got into that 89, and I think they might have touched just a little bit, but both of these guys are using up their trucks a little bit. You can see the right side damage to both. And I'm sure Craig Lerman has just got to be watching on right now saying, I hope these guys mess up and give me a chance to get by them, because Craig Lerman's got a front row seat to this battle between these three guys, and they are just going at it, trading a little bit of paint, swapping spots, and just trying to make something happen. Spence Thompson now has a run, or at least had a run, on the number 2 of Michael Redding, and is now going to have to back out of it side by side into turns 1 and 2 with the number 81, and we heard the downshift there from Craig Lerman getting into third gear, and now he's picking up the throttle, getting up out of turn 2 back into fourth. So that just proves these guys are downshifting, then upshifting once more to get back into fourth gear for the long straightaway. So it's kind of a unique thing to Gateway, and actually he's downshifting in turn 3 as well. So that's something to note. iRacing did slow the trucks down a little bit. They messed with the aero package on the trucks to make them a little bit more realistic, and I believe that's why we're now seeing the downshifting out of these guys in turns 3 and 4. I could have told you a year ago that they would have been downshifting in 1 and 2, but not in 3 and 4, so that's interesting to note as well. So Craig Lehrman and the Coca-Cola machine still trying to trail these guys and wait for something to happen. But for now, though, Bradley Wilson still in second place, still trying to find anything he can on Aiden Young. They're still nose to tail up here for the front 2 spots, and now they're over halfway through this 40-lap stage. This is a 100-lap race, and it's being split into 3 stages, like I mentioned at the top of the show. But if you weren't here, it will be 40 laps, and then 20 to close it out. So lap 40, these guys will have a competition caution. At lap 80, they'll have another, and then from there, they'll race it out. So about 15 laps under green if they go green the whole way in that final stage. So as we saw right there, Bradley Wilson lost a bunch of time actually to Aiden Young, so that's going to have to be something we watch for now. If Bradley has run his truck all the way through and can't get anything out of it now, but Aiden Young going to extend that lead over Bradley this lap and really pull away actually from that number 51 pedigree truck. But I just want to mention, while I have it on my mind, that if you want to join this league, if you're an iRacer looking for somewhere to race the NASCAR trucks, NMNTS is the place. There's a whole bunch of new stuff going on for 2018. I believe we may be getting down to the final stages of accepting drivers, so you may not be able to join right away, but there's probably going to be some spots that open up between now and the season. So if you want to contact the NMNTS Racing Series, they may have something for you. I can't guarantee anything, but it's worth it to do, even if you join in on the Super Late Model Series, which will be the TN Design Super Series starting up in February as well, running the super late models all around America. It'll be following the truck schedule pretty closely, but it'll be running all across America at places like Five Flag Speedway, New Smyrna, Irwindale Speedway, and just many more short tracks all across the U.S. So that'll be a lot of fun. I'll have the pleasure to be able to call a lot of those races, I do hope. So I want to thank the NMNTS for giving me the chance to do that and giving me the chance to do this race tonight. But if you want to join, again, go to the NMNTS Racing Series page here on Facebook. I'm not sure of the link, but I'll find it for you before this night is over. And Bradley Wilson now trying to make a move on the number 9 once again. We'll go to Bradley Wilson's visor cam, and as he's working on that number 9, he's trying to find a way around, and hasn't found it just yet. Right to the back bumper of Aiden Young, trying to find something, trying to make this pass finally. And Aiden Young so far has been able to hold on since the start. Even though Bradley Wilson started on pole, Bradley Wilson, the Oklahoma driver, has not been able to get back around Aiden Young out of the Northeast. So the Adopt-A-Pat Chevrolet, Aiden Young still able to keep that number 9 ahead of Bradley Wilson. And further back, Corey Walters still in the 3rd position. And there's Corey's truck. He always runs Havoline trucks, rather. And now Spence Thompson actually is in the 4th position, and Craig Lehrman in 5th. So we missed something with Michael Redding, and Michael Redding, it looks like, is starting to fall back in that number 2 out of Arkansas. Now he's doing battle with the number 27 of Trevor Harmon. Trevor Harmon is a couple of laps down after some unfortunate circumstances. I'm not really sure what happened to his truck, but it's definitely banged up, and unfortunately it's probably going to take him out of contention. Actually, the 81 wrecking down the back straight away.
All right, man, caution is out. Caution is out.
That's Travis Pryor from the ExtremeMotorsports99.com camp. It looks like, unfortunately, maybe just got loose out of turn 2. We'll check back on this in just a moment. But the Maverick Top Gun Chevrolet, or Toyota Tundra rather, definitely with a lot of damage all around that truck. So we'll see exactly what happens to him here. Actually got tied out of turn 2, hit the wall, was trying to save it down the back straightaway, ends up nosing it into the fence. Doesn't hit anything else though, so he may be somewhat okay, but that's definitely going to hurt that number 81 of Travis Pryor. And we'll go on board for one more chance to see what happens to Travis right here. Coming out of turn 2, again, just gets tight right up to that wall, is trying to save it, and unfortunately doesn't get it saved and doesn't get it caught before wrecking. And thankfully no one else hit him. He was right in the middle of the racetrack, and no one hit him. He only hit the wall the one time, so that could have been a lot worse, but thankfully no one else hit him, and he didn't hit the wall too hard. Well, he hit it pretty hard, but he didn't hit it more than once, so if you're going to take any positives out of that, that would be what to take. And they are down the pit lane now, so we'll check in back with the number 51 as he makes his pit stop. Bradley Wilson assumingly going to get 4 tires along with Aiden Young. We'll see who wins the race out of the pits, though. Aiden Young gets the nose ahead of Bradley Wilson. We'll be able to get that spot over Bradley, and we'll still be first, but this actually opens up the door for Bradley Wilson to possibly take the lead on the restart. He'll have to time it just right, as Aiden Young will have choice of when to launch in the restart box, so to speak. But Bradley Wilson possibly has a chance to make something happen on this restart now. And I just want to note, looks like Bradley Wilson was caught speeding out of the pits. And I'll get the official call for you in just a moment. But yeah, Bradley Wilson having to go all the way back to the rear of the field. And we'll check the event log just to be sure. And I will say, actually, Bradley Wilson has the fastest lap of the race so far, but it doesn't show if he got a black flag. I would assume he did, clearly, to go to the back of the field. I wouldn't expect him to go that far back for any other reason. So Bradley Wilson with the speeding penalty having to go all the way back to the rear of the field. And it looks like actually teammate Spence Thompson is going to be back here as well. So he'll have some familiar faces to work with, but definitely Bradley Wilson with an unfortunate break here under this first caution of the race. For now, though, Spence Thompson, your Season 1 champion here in the NMNTS Truck Series, was not able to get it done in 2017, but got the championship, like I said, in 2016 in the first Truck Series season. And he still made the Final Four both in the Truck Series this past season in 2017 and in the Grand National Series running the NASCAR Xfinity cars. So Spence Thompson knows what it takes to get it done, and we'll see if he can make something happen here, but currently running a little ways back there. The 7th place position to be exact. So we'll see what he can do on this restart. Back up to the leader. That's going to be Aiden Young, still with the advantage on this restart. So I'd assume Aiden Young will be able to hang on to this lead, but you never know. He has some tough guys around him to work with. Corey Walters, Craig Lerman, Derek Robinson. I know all can get it done on on the short run with some new tires. So we'll see what happens. I think some of these guys might have taken 2 tires to get the track position, but we'll see exactly what goes on here with just a few laps to go to the end of the stage. Aiden Young with the choice of when to restart from now all the way to the green flag, and there he goes. He's off and away. Aiden Young with leader's privilege, pretty much. Leader's right to be able to go when he wants, and looks like he's going to be able to clear Corey Walters pretty easily, but Corey Walters trying to give him some heat off into turn one. Corey Walters trying to get his nose down there, isn't going to get it done this time, and I dare say Aiden Young is going to be able to drive away from these guys, at least on the short run. He looked very fast that entire run, leading every lap so far, and Corey Walters was fast as well, but in the third position, a little ways behind the leaders of Bradley Wilson and Aiden Young, and someone we'll have to watch is going to be the number 51 of Bradley Wilson as he rages back through the field, trying to make some of those positions back up. Ryan Daniels just behind Bradley Wilson. As Bradley Wilson runs wide in turns 1 and 2, Ryan Daniels is going to be looking for the advantage out of turn 2 in his Daniels Cardinale Incorporated Toyota Tundra. Doesn't get it done, and Bradley's actually going to have the run down the back straightaway, so Ryan doesn't get the position, won't even get the nose off into turn 3, and is going to have to back out of it. Unfortunately, Bradley Wilson trying to make his way back through the field. We'll see if he's able to do it. We'll go on board with him right now in the Pedigree Chevrolet. He's just behind Travis Pryor, who was the cause of our first caution of the night. And with 2 laps to go until the stage break, Michael Redding looking to try and make a move underneath Terry Mason off into turns 1 and 2. Aiden Young still running away with this race so far, though. Michael Redding trying to make the pass on Terry Mason, this time in turns 3 and 4. He knows the stage is coming up, and he's got to get by that 75, not for points, but just for pride at this point, as David Heisa starting to slip back. Spence Thompson makes the pass on him. The number 7 moves back another position into the 7th spot. Actually, the 6th spot, I believe. Michael Redding trying again on the number 75. I believe this is actually at 2 to go. And he's actually going to get alongside the number 75, Terry Mason, and make the pass down the back straightaway, possibly. He's got a nose ahead. I don't think he'll have the whole truck ahead of him in turn 3, but Terry Mason going to back out of that situation almost 3 wide there. Travis Pryor getting his nose into it as well, trying to make the position up on Terry Mason, and he will do just that. So Michael Redding now up into the 7th position. Travis Pryor follows into the 8th spot. And now this is the final lap of the stage to back up to Aiden Young, currently your leader, and is likely going to be the stage winner unless something goes awry here in these last couple of corners. And Aiden Young going to motor away to his first stage win in the NMNTS Racing Series. And congrats to Aiden Young as he comes out of turn 4, this time by only has to make it to the line. Aiden Young going to be the stage 1 winner here at Gateway Motorsports Park.
Alright, man, caution is out. Caution is out.
You hear the caution has been thrown, so Aiden Young, again, your stage 1 winner. We'll try and dial him up under this caution. So once more, congrats to him. We'll see exactly what he does on this caution here as far as tires go. It'll be a very interesting strategy to watch here. Corey Walters will end up finishing 2nd in this stage. Craig Lerman will come home in 3rd. Derek Robinson in 4th. Spence Thompson makes it up into the top 5. He'll finish 5th in the stage. David Heisa hangs on to a 6th place finish. Michael Redding in 7th. Travis Pryor in 8th. Terry Mason in 9th. And Ryan Daniels makes it by the number 51 of Bradley Wilson for the 10th spot. Currently your race summary. Laps complete, 41 laps out of 100. That's stage 1 in the books. Total lead changes 0. Aiden Young has led all 41 laps so far, and coming around this time under caution will make it 42. We've had 2 cautions, including the stage break, for 5 laps currently, but that will change at the end of this caution. It'll be about 10 laps total. As the field makes their way into the pit lane, you see a couple of guys taking advantage of the stage break to maybe get a lap back or 2. Aiden Young coming down the pit lane, going to be looking for his box. He's actually got a box right at the end of the pit lane along with Bradley Wilson. And actually, Bradley Wilson is going to stay out to try and get the lead. And he doesn't that time, but he'll be able to get the lead, and he'll be the first new leader of the race since Aiden Young took the lead away from him on lap 1. Before Bradley Wilson had a chance to even lead a lap. The race off pit road, Michael Redding almost got to Aiden Young, but Aiden Young will hang on for the spot out of the pits. Actually, it gave it to Michael Redding, so put Michael Redding up into P2. He's going to take the spot from Aiden Young under this caution coming out of the pit lane. And it looks like in 4th place we'll have Craig Lerman, and 5th will be Corey Walters, and the number 28, David Heise in 6th, Spence Thompson in 8th. Or 7th, sorry. I can count. But that's very, very... Actually, no. Michael Redding didn't beat him out. Aiden Young was caught speeding. So Aiden Young was caught speeding. We're still going to try and dial him up to get an interview with the stage winner. Aiden Young, this is Andrew in the booth. Do you have a copy?
I got you.
Well, Aiden, looks like you just got a speeding penalty, unfortunately, but congrats on the stage win. It's your first, really, you're only the 3rd driver to get a stage win in the NMNTS Racing Series so far, because we've only done 2 of these races. The first one was at Charlotte, not broadcast, but you're the first one to get it on camera, bud, so that's got to feel good going into the 2018 season. Still got a lot of ways to go. This doesn't mean a whole lot, but it's got to feel good at least to know that you can do it.
Yeah, it feels good. It just gives you that extra confidence that, you know, that you can run up front and have a good truck to be confident in yourself to drive it.
Yeah, and I want to ask you a question real quick before I let you go so you can get back to the restart. If you could tell us just a little bit about the sponsor on your hood. I noticed the Adopt-A-Pet on the rear end of the truck, but what's on the hood? And can you tell us a little bit about them?
Yeah, this is just for an organization that our team runs for. It's a really good cause, so we just slap their logos and stuff on our trucks just to support them.
Alright, well, it sounds like a good cause at the very least. Adopt-A-Pet sounds pretty uplifting, if I do say so. So, best of luck to you in this next stage. You've got until lap 80, and you'll be coming from the back, but you have a lot of laps to do it. So, best of luck to you. It's been fun watching so far, and hopefully you can get back into it.
Yep, thank you. Let's see what happens.
And ladies and gentlemen, that was Aiden Young out of the number 9 Jaeger Racing Machine. Thanks to him for the time to come up, but he's going to end up being your Stage 1 winner, but ends up going to the rear of the field with a speeding penalty under the stage break. And now, up at the front, it's going to be Bradley Wilson and Michael Redding, who will have control over this restart. Bradley Wilson getting his first laps led of the night. And Michael Redding actually in a good spot to try and make something happen. We didn't see the outside... I should say pole sitter, I guess, on that last restart be able to do anything with the leader, Aiden Young. But this time, Michael Redding, Bradley Wilson, I guarantee you this will be a gunfight here. And I tell you what, neither one of them brought a knife. So Bradley Wilson already off and away, and actually he's already well clear of that number 2 of Michael Redding. Bradley Wilson wants this lead. As the field battles for spots behind them, Bradley Wilson already has a huge jump over the number 2 of Michael Redding, and now David Heise amidst a huge battle back here a little further back, and Spence Thompson, Corey Walters kind of leading this charge. Jared Beasley looking for the inside underneath David Heise into turn 3. He's going to have the inside line. We'll see if that number 15 of Jared Beasley can do anything with it, though. Jared Beasley slides up a little bit, won't get the run out of turn 4, but David Heise actually got a little bit loose, and he won't have it either, so they'll be drawn alongside each other, a drag race down the front straightaway once again. Jared Beasley going to get on the brakes hard off into turn 1, try and make a slide job. It doesn't happen. Didn't clear him at all. It was a very sloppy slide job, but he's going to make the pass either way out of the corner. I think David Heise had to check up a little bit because he had to adjust for the incoming Jared Beasley, but that was a bit of a sloppy slide job, but it's going to work out for Jared Beasley. I'll tell you what, that was a heck of a move right there. It didn't look pretty, but it ended up working, so that's what's got to count for that extreme lawn care machine. Robbie Buckner looking down to the inside of Terry Mason off into turn 1. He'll think better of it, but now he's going to put his nose there anyway, see if he can make Terry slip up, and actually he does, but Trevor Harmon now down on the inside. They almost got into each other, but Robbie Buckner has the position underneath Terry Mason, and these guys are all under a blanket 2x2x2 down off into turn 3. Robbie Buckner went with the advantage over Trevor Harmon and Terry Mason out of turn 4. Gonna drive away from these guys down the front straightaway. Trevor Harmon falling back a little bit, still in the clutches of Terry Mason as they round turns 1 and 2. And now Aiden Young coming right back into this battle. We saw him lead the entire first stage, but get that speeding penalty, as did Bradley Wilson a little while earlier. But Aiden Young gonna have to really drive through this field to try and get back into the top 10, and hopefully for him into the top 5 or top 3. But he's making good work of these guys so far. Just got by Travis Pryor pretty easily into turn 3, and now through turn 4 is going to make the pass on Terry Mason. Tell you what, that number 9 truck is flying right now. Trevor Harmon going to give way to the number 94, Robbie Buckner, but they're still doing battle as Aiden Young pulls alongside of Trevor, and is going to have the huge run over Robbie Buckner now as well. And we just watched Aiden Young make Swiss cheese of these guys in the back. Aiden Young going to make those 2 passes to move himself up into 8th position. Robbie Buckner trying to come back on the inside, won't have anything for him. Aiden Young easily going to drive away out of turn 4. A huge advantage already over the guys he was literally just passing. So great work there by Aiden Young to move into the 8th spot, but up front, battle for second place, it looks like it's starting to shape up. Corey Walters trying to make some gains on the number 2 of Michael Redding. Corey Walters in the Haviland Chevy Silverado. Michael Redding in the Redman Snuff number 2 Toyota Tundra. And he's trying to, Corey Walters rather, is trying to catch up to Michael. Hasn't been able to do it just yet, but we'll go to Corey's on board. And he's in the same position he was in for most of Stage 1 in 3rd place. He ended up taking Stage 1 in 2nd place at the end, but only due to a speeding penalty on the part of the number 51. And Michael Redding in the wall hard down the back straightaway. Corey Walters going to make the pass down into turn 3. Easily clears that number 2, and Michael Redding now will have to go back to work on the number 28 to try and get that 2nd place back. But this battle right here is going to bring Spence Thompson right back into the mix. So already we're seeing guys get into their 2018 form. We saw Bradley Wilson go all the way to the back, and he's now back up into the lead by virtue of staying out on these older tires. And we saw Aiden Young make Swiss cheese of everyone he's had to pass so far. So these guys already trying to show they've got something for 2018. Michael Redding doing battle with Corey Walters. And Corey Walters, this is kind of unusual to see from Corey, in my opinion at least. I've raced with him all season, but you know, he hasn't normally been a fighter for the lead, but right now he's trying to assert himself as one of the favorites for the 2018 season in the NMNTS SimSpec Truck Series. Corey Walters going to lengthen that gap he has over Michael Redding out of turn 2 that time, and we'll go back up to the front now. Bradley Wilson just tearing away from these guys. He's already got almost a 2-second lead in the Pedigree Chevrolet, and at this point he can kind of sit back and just run the laps down to lap 80. Lap 80 will come at 20 laps to go out of this 100-lap race, so you'll just have to watch the laps to go ticker up there when it's at 20 laps to go. So we've got about 26 to go until the stage break. That's when the stage will end. So we'll have to watch that. You and I both will have to watch when that comes. So Nathan Davis in the comments asking if this is open or fixed. This is a fixed setup race using the gateway setup provided by iRacing. So these guys can mess with the steering boxes and the brake bias, and that's about it in these NASCAR trucks, be it in the Chevy or the Toyota. They don't have a whole lot they can fool with, just those couple of settings, but the steering box and brake bias can still be godsends. You know, on one spectrum or another. You can make it a lot looser, you can make it a lot tighter. So, you know, even though it doesn't sound like a whole lot that you can adjust, it really ends up being a lot that you can adjust, because you can completely change the entire balance of the car, or at least how it drives, with just the steering box and the brake bias. Especially at a heavy braking track like this, you know, it's very important to get that exactly as you want it. Now, as always, as we're going to watch the 3rd place battle commence here with, looks like it's going to be Michael Redding and Spence Thompson here rather quickly. We'll look for Michael Redding Actually, yeah, Spence Thompson getting the pass made on Michael Redding down the back straightaway. Craig Lerman going to come with him. I didn't think these guys were going to be battling quite like this when I switched to them, but tell you what, Spence Thompson gets the position over Michael Redding. Now Craig Lerman in the number 69 looking for the advantage underneath Spence Thompson. He didn't get it that time, but Michael Redding falling into the clutches of Aiden Young. Aiden Young is about to drive his way all the way back into the top 5. So that is just a stellar performance out of that number 9 Adopt-A-Pet.com Chevrolet so far. And Matthew Welsenbach in the chat saying the sponsor on the number 9 tonight is Hope for Pause. It will be the main sponsor for all Jaeger Racing drivers in the 2018 NMNTS season. So that's a great cause there as this battle continues on. Aiden Young making the pass, this time on Michael Redding, or at least trying to get there. These guys will continue to battle with David Heise. Has to have the best seat in the house right now. Earlier it was his teammate Craig Lerman, and this time it's going to be David Heise with the great show ahead of him. Aiden Young, Michael Redding going at it. But as these guys do battle, I want to go into a quick spiel. If you see weird things happening with the truck, as I actually work with the screen for just a moment. Okay, we're back. It froze for a second. Sometimes happens as well, but if you see the trucks do a little bit weird things, I always like to go into this in my broadcasts. That's normal for iRacing. I just want to mention, you know, iRacing essentially means internet racing, so if you see some weird stuff from the trucks that doesn't look realistic at all, it's probably just an impurity in the connection. Almost definitely just an impurity in the connection. It's nothing to worry about. David Heise locking up the brakes into turn 1. A huge move from him trying to get down to the inside of Aiden Young. It was a really aggressive move. Maybe he felt that Aiden had wronged him, was trying to get the spot back, but David Heise able to hold it in front of the number 2, but that was a moment there. He locked the left front tire up all the way into turn 1, all over the brakes there. That was David Heise. So anyways, back to what I was saying. If you see weird oddities with the trucks on the track tonight, or even the track, it's because this is all being run from my computer, you know, and over the internet. So you know, sometimes there's impurities in the connection that can cause a truck to flash a little bit, or you'll see something called netcode where maybe two trucks don't appear as if they're touching, to us at least, and sometimes, oftentimes to the drivers as well, but the simulator registers them as touching, and often it causes a wreck. So it's just something to watch for if you see it. That's kind of the explanation behind it, and I'll make sure to bring it up if we see it again tonight. Actually, wow, Jared Beasley with an aggressive move trying to get by, or at least hold the position from the 94 of Robbie Buckner. And I'll tell you what, Jared Beasley's already got a lot of damage to that rear end, and I think he's about to get more, because Robbie Buckner is one of those guys where if you mess with me, I will mess with you two times as hard. So Robbie Buckner not going to take that for long, but it looks like Jared Beasley was able to gap the 94 that time. So we'll see if Robbie gets back to his back end at all, but you know, I wouldn't expect any kind of wrecks or anything. These guys are all clean and respectful, but I'll tell you what, these guys don't shy away from using a bumper here or there. And Michael Redding in the wall hard out of turn 4. Came back down the track a tiny bit, but Michael Redding hard in the wall. That's going to probably end this run for him. For all intents and purposes, he's just falling further and further back, and he's really got to be mindful of that right front damage. It can really hurt that truck on the long haul. Terry Mason now getting up there trying to challenge the number 2, but the number 2, Michael Redding, going to go back to work on the back end of the 81 of Travis Pryor, trying to find any advantage he can, a 10th here or there, just trying to make something happen. He's gotten to the wall quite a bit just recently, and actually he's trying to make the move again on the 81. Won't get it done that time, didn't even get the nose there, but Michael Redding making a valiant effort. He gets tight there again, and he's got to really watch that. I think he's moving over to yield to the truck behind him. I think that's Terry Mason as well. So that, or he was trying to hold the position. No, he was letting Terry by. So you know, Michael has got to be mindful of that. He's gotten into the wall a lot. Actually, he's loose on the bottom, almost loops it. That is some great driving right there from Michael Redding out of Batesville, Arkansas. I'll tell you what, when I saw him start to get loose on the inside, I expected him to go around right in front of Trevor Harmon. I did not expect him to save that, but that was a great piece of driving out of the Arkansas driver, and now he'll go back to work this time on the number 27. So Michael Redding continuing to try and work on that number 27. He's currently running in the 12th position, has fallen all the way out of the top 5 and the top 10. He started second place on this run and has fallen 10 positions to the 12th position in that Redman Snuff Toyota Tundra, and actually gets the wall again. We're going to keep watching him actually for a couple of laps. Hopefully he doesn't end up causing a caution, but if this leads to a caution, I want to be here to catch it when it happens. Again, hopefully nothing happens here for both the best interests of Michael Redding and the rest of the field, but if it happens, I want to be here. And this is a great look at that Redman paint scheme on that number 2 truck tonight. I actually think it's pretty nice, pretty almost Christmassy with the Christmas season coming up. He's in the wall again, this time the earlier part of turn 2, but harder than before, I think, and that number 2 truck has really got to be hurting at this point. And we'll now check back in on Aiden Young. He came all the way from the back of the field and is now battling for the third, actually almost the second position. These guys are all under a blanket. This is a great time to switch to this battle right here, as these guys are all trying to do battle. That's the wrong camera. Sorry about that. All right. Yeah, these guys are all doing battle. Spence Thompson has caught the number 28 of Corey Walters. Aiden Young has caught the 69 of Craig Lerman. And these guys are doing battle off into the tight turns 3 and 4. Craig Lerman not letting Aiden Young get the advantage just yet. There's contact made between the 69 and the 9, and Aiden Young, another one of those hard-headed drivers that may not stand for that very long before getting a bit more aggressive with his moves. I don't think he'll use the bumper just yet, but he will definitely start to make more aggressive moves just like that off into turn 1. And Corey Walters actually gets hit from Craig Lerman. I think Corey just checked up earlier than Craig, and I don't think Craig was expecting it as they went into turn 1. And contact made. Corey got sent sideways, but was able to save it. Now Aiden Young to the top side, trying to make something happen on the back straightaway. David Heisen now going to get pulled into this battle here if this goes on too much longer. But Spence Thompson has cleared these guys for the second spot, but is 4 seconds behind leader Bradley Wilson. Now Aiden Young going to have the advantage out of turn 4 on Corey Walters. Corey Walters going to fall into the 4th spot. He was just second a few laps ago, but we switched to this battle at just the right time. And Corey going to try and make the move. It's not going to happen. Now he's going to fall into the clutches of Craig Lerman. Craig Lerman now going to look for a way around that number 28 Haviland Chevrolet. He's not going to make the move just yet. He's going to be rather patient, I think, with this number 28 of Corey Walters. It's still relatively early in this race, considering we still have an entire stage left. There's 10 laps left in this stage, though, so we might see some more aggressive driving trying to get the stage spots before the stage break. But we'll see exactly what goes on here. Is Craig Lerman still trying to work on that number 28, but Bradley Wilson just setting the pace here in that number 51 Pedigree Chevrolet. And in stage 1, it was all Aiden Young the entire stage. In stage 2, so far, it's been all Bradley Wilson. Now, I think Bradley Wilson winning the second stage, if he holds on for the next 10 laps, will be possibly the most important move anyone could make here tonight. And I say that simply because we've seen so far, aside from the initial start, the last 2 restarts where Aiden Young was in first and then Bradley Wilson was in first, no one has been able to make the move on the leader. And that's mostly because the leader has the privilege on all restarts in this league to choose when they launch. So what that means is from when the pace car peels off the track to go down the pit lane to the moment that the simulator throws the green flag, almost like the end of the restart box in real NASCAR. The leader can go in any point in that that space of time, that space of racetrack. So that's what these guys have been playing with a little bit. It's within the rules here in NMNTS and even on iRacing, I do believe. So it's not like it's any shady stuff going on. It's completely within the rules. It's completely allowed that the leaders do that. So that's kind of the privilege of being the leader on these restarts, and that's why we're seeing these guys just peel away when they're in the lead, and that's why Bradley Wilson has this 4.5 second lead now over Spence Thompson and Aiden Young. Aiden Young still trying to get back by the number 89 of Spence Thompson. He led all of stage 1 all the way to the stage break when Bradley Wilson stayed out on a little bit older tires, only about 5 laps or so. And I think that's why Bradley Wilson started to save his stuff towards the end of that stage. There's no stage points, so there's nothing to lose for doing that. aside from Pride and now Aiden Young, we see him having to come from the back with the same adversity that Bradley Wilson faced in Stage 1. And Aiden Young to the inside of the number 89, Spence Thompson on the outside. Craig Lerman spinning in the back. And actually, Craig Lerman, I think, will hang on to that number 69 truck, but that was a heck of a save. I'll tell you what, we're actually going to go back and watch that one real quick, and we'll see pretty much most of his lap as he comes out of turn 2 here. But that was definitely great driving out of the number 69 there, Craig Lerman. I think he just got on the brakes a little bit too hard. Actually, it was the downshift that got him. It was definitely the downshift. That's why that truck pitched around so quickly. It was the downshift. I think it just revved the tires up a little too much and definitely just sent him almost all the way around, but he was able to hang on to it. So great driving there from Craig Lerman. Now 5 laps left to go in the stage. Bradley Wilson still in first place, but the battle is going to be at second, I think. With Aiden Young, Spence Thompson still going at it. Tyler Justice, I see your question in the comments. Looks like Bradley Wilson will hang on to the stage win, so I'll ask him when we talk to him in just a minute. But Aiden Young doing work back on the number 89 of Spence Thompson, trying to find any advantage he can. We'll go on board with him now as he tries to find a way to get by the number 89 of Spence Thompson. Aiden Young going to take the more passive approach to turns 1 and 2, trying to get the run on the exit of the corner. It's a great way to go. You know, don't want to rough somebody up in the off-season for sure. So I like the way Aiden Young is trying to approach this race and gain what he can on Spence Thompson, but it's going to be tough for him to get by the number 89 doing this, because Spence Thompson, one of the best drivers I've seen in iRacing in a while, and you know, just on the long run, he really knows how to hold somebody off or just be faster in general. So Spence Thompson really working his experience here on iRacing to stay ahead of Aiden Young. Aiden Young, one of the harder chargers, one of the younger drivers in the league. So I wouldn't be surprised when we see Aiden Young really try some things in this third stage and actually smoke up ahead of these guys. I don't know what that's from. It looks like it could possibly be the 818. We'll switch quickly to Derek Robinson. It's definitely not Derek, so it could be the 81, and I believe it was. We'll switch back and watch this real quick. Looks like he had some sort of trouble further back in the pack, was running behind the number 75 of Terry Mason. We'll see what happens to him here. Coming out of turn 2, Travis Pryor just gets loose down the back straightaway and ends up nailing that inside wall really, really hard. We'll watch that one more time before going back to the front of the field for the end of the stage. But Travis Pryor was mounting a pretty good run here in the NMNTS for his first start with these guys, and then just got loose out of turn 2, and we'll see him hit the wall here again, and then we'll switch back up to Bradley Wilson taking, it looks like, by a storm, stage number 2 here at Gateway. So yeah, he just gets loose out of turn 2. There's no chance for him to try and save that and into the wall hard, and that's what all that smoke is from, is it immediately terminated his motor. So as he's sitting in the pits, we'll switch back up to Bradley Wilson. Coming around turns 3 and 4, he'll take the white flag on the stage. Actually, no, sorry, that was the final lap of the stage. So I had my laps 1 lap off, so apologies for that. But Bradley Wilson is your stage 2 winner, sorry, over Spence Thompson in the number 89 and Aiden Young in the number 9. Bradley Wilson out of Oklahoma. We'll bring you up your stage results here in stage number 2. Bradley Wilson will take it by storm, and we see an entirely Chevy top 10, actually. Spence Thompson will come home in this stage in the 2nd position, Aiden Young in 3rd, Craig Lerman in 4th. Jared Beasley rounds out your top 5 in 5th. Corey Walter slips all the way back to 6th. David Heisa hangs on for 7th. Robbie Buckner makes a late charge up into 8th. And Terry Mason, Trevor Harmon will finish 9th and 10th respectively. So as these guys enter the pit lane, Bradley Wilson had that entire stage under wraps there, and a great piece of driving from him, as well as some other guys to hang on to their trucks as we saw some big moments. But definitely props to Bradley Wilson hanging on to that one. And actually, Aiden Young will lead Bradley Wilson and the rest of the drivers out of the pits. Bradley Wilson going to lose the lead in the pit lane. Aiden Young going to take it back. We'll have to see if any of these guys were speeding, but we'll bring Bradley Wilson up in here for a Stage 2 interview. Bradley Wilson.
He will get the bumper. What's up?
Maybe bad timing, but Bradley Wilson,
No,
this is
you're
Andrew in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, we got you.
Well, Bradley, you ran a great Stage 2. I don't even know how else to say it. Impeccable, maybe. You know, to the likes of Aiden Young taking all of Stage 1. So, great run there. Congrats on the Stage 2 win. Tell you what, that 51 looks fast, but that 9 also looks fast. Do you think you have something for Aiden on this long run? Or actually, this shorter run here?
I don't know. I mean, we used Stage 1 and we sized him up pretty good. We were right there with him. Got loose once, and I think, and lost some ground, but even then we're able to make it back up. So I'm not sure. It's going to be a shootout. I know Spence has came to life here too, so we'll just see what happens here and see how it unfolds in this little shootout, Stage 3.
Well, Bradley, it's been a lot of fun watching you come back from your adversity of a speeding penalty and Aiden do the same. So, you know, it's been a lot of fun so far. Great job up to this point. Hopefully you put on a show here with Aiden and Spence. Be a lot of fun watching. Anyone you want to thank for putting this truck together tonight?
Oh, yeah, I'd like to thank teammates here at WFO. We lean on each other all the time for a lot of information and feedback. And, you know, I feel like when you got a Spence Thompson and Robbie Buckner and, you know, Zach, who's not here tonight, but you've got those guys to bounce ideas off of and get feedback from. You're in good company. So those guys first and foremost, and then thank my beautiful wife at BA Graphics for all the hard work she does behind the scenes to make these things look so good.
All right, well, Bradley, we'll let you get back down there with your team as you get ready for stage number 3, the final stage of the race, and looks like you'll have about 16 laps to go when it's all said and done. So best of luck to you. Be watching. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Appreciate you, bro. 10-4.
Again, that was Bradley Wilson in the number 51 pedigree Chevrolet. He'll be lining up in 3rd position for this restart. We'll have exactly 16 laps to go, as I just mentioned. He'll have Craig Lehrman to his outside and Jared Beasley behind him. Up ahead of him in 1st and 2nd will be Aiden Young and Spence Thompson. And this will be probably the most crucial restart of the night. Even if you're back there in 10th position like Robbie Buckner, you know, this is important because you got to try and cause some good momentum for your side and just try and make something happen with the drivers around you. Try and make some positions up on this restart. This may be the last one you get all night long. So we'll be looking out for this this stage 3 run here, 16 laps, and these guys have been running 40 lap stages up until now. So it'll be a lot of fun to see what these guys do here. And sorry, Adam Wooten out there. I didn't see that in the chat quick enough. I was going to ask Bradley about Tyler's question, but we'll ask him at the end of the show. I didn't want to intrude on that final lap of the caution. And now Aiden Young back on the loud pedal, going to get way ahead of these guys. Aiden Young with a huge lead already. So didn't get the clarification on the stage points, but we'll get that at some point tonight. Just didn't want to intrude on Bradley's plans for stage number 3 here. So didn't want to keep him talking for too long. But Spence Thompson has fallen into the 2nd spot, right where he restarted. And actually, he's trying to make the move on Aiden Young down into turn 3. He's looking for room. He's going to find daylight. Even in the nighttime, he's going to slide up a little bit, but he's got the spot under Aiden Young, trying to make something happen on a turn 4 here. And Spence Thompson going to have a drag race with Aiden Young down the front straight away. Into turn 1, Spence Thompson with just a nose ahead of Aiden Young into the corner. He's going to try and make the pass here, going to try and clear Aiden. It's not going to happen just yet. He almost slides up into him, but is able to keep it off him. And Bradley Wilson right in this battle, right on these guys' tailgates right now. And actually, Bradley Wilson going to go to work on Spence Thompson. Spence Thompson likely going to give Bradley the spot. I would imagine, actually, no, they're going to drive hard. There may have been contact into turn 3, but we don't know. Bradley Wilson going to make the pass just barely over Spence Thompson. So now Spence Thompson going to slip into 3rd, just ahead of Craig Lehrman in 4th, and now these guys are going to do even more battle. And I'll tell you what, I think if Bradley Wilson can get to the bumper of Aiden Young, he may play around with Aiden just a little bit. if he can get there and make something happen. Right now, though, he's pushing up a little bit too much in turns 3 and 4 to even get a run at Aiden. And that's certainly not going to be the way to get it done in this third and final stage. But Aiden Young, Bradley Wilson, Spence Thompson, these guys have been a highlight of the night. So just props to them. And even Craig Lehrman, Corey Walters, and everyone else that's been running, like top 7 so far tonight, and really just putting on a show here at Gateway. Very clean race so far, so props to everyone in the field. And we'll look through the field just a bit. We've got a battle right behind these guys, actually. Corey Walters has fallen into the clutches of David Heiza and Jared Beasley. Jared Beasley almost gets the wall out of turn 4. David Heiza going to have to settle for that spot for now. Behind Corey Walters is not going to be able to make the pass just yet. Moving a little further back, we have Terry Mason in the number 75 hanging on to the 10th spot right now. A little ways ahead of Ryan Daniels. We haven't talked much about Ryan Daniels since the top of the show, but Ryan just trying to make a start and gain any knowledge he can going into 2018 with Daniels Cardinale Incorporated. Daniels Cardinale Incorporated there on that number 52, as well as Turn 2 News, Gale Toyota, and some other sponsors. So it should be a big season for him next season. I know he's very, very confident heading into next year. So if he can get some more spots here tonight, I think that'll only bolster his confidence. But right now, Terry Mason, actually Jared Beasley in the wall up ahead. Jared Beasley, number 15, Extreme Lawn Care Chevrolet, got in the fence, and he's going to slip all the way back behind Terry Mason now. He lost a couple of spots there, but he's going to continue on. Still a lot of rear damage, a lot of right front damage, but he's going to continue on and back up to the lead battle. Bradley Wilson still trying to find a way around Aiden Young, but he's fallen back just a little bit. Spence Thompson has also fallen back a little bit, and this is kind of the nature of a green flag run. There's more time to fall back, and we didn't see a lot of those last night at South Boston and late models, but tonight here at Gateway Motorsport Park, Bradley Wilson's starting to get back up to that number 9, maybe have a chance at him before the night's over. Bradley Wilson with the move into turn 1, and I tell you what, he's not going to back out now. 10 laps to go in the race. He's making the move down into turns 1 and 2. He's got the spot so far, and he's going to be driving hard out of the corner. He's going to make the pass over Aiden Young. Almost puts Aiden in the wall, but I think, that was nothing on Brad's fault, and actually a caution in the back. I think we're looking for the 27 this time of Trevor Harmon. Indeed we are. He's wrecked hard in the back with someone else. Looks like the number 94 of Robbie Buckner. And that's certainly not good to see for the Budweiser truck of Robbie Buckner with BA Graphics on the door as well. Get a look back at what happens here. These guys were running nose to tail coming out of turn 4 this time. I think it's about a half a lap until these guys wreck, or a little bit longer. Robbie Buckner was running, I believe, in about the 12th spot, or maybe the 10th spot. Actually, he just got into the corner way too hard and right into the 27 of Trevor Harmon, and then collects the 15 of Jared Beasley. And that's going to be Jared Beasley's night as well, but I'm not sure what happened there. That was just a completely missed corner on Robbie Buckner's part. We'll get a look back at that from the onboard camera this time of the number 52 of Ryan Daniels. He was almost in that wreck pretty hard. I know he's gotten in the wall a little bit, so that's why he has some right front damage, but you can see the wreck happening ahead of him, and he's just got to steer hard left at this point and lock it down, try and get through this, and just barely misses Jared Beasley. We'll have to get caught up with these guys as far as what happened in a moment, but for now, up to the front of the field, Bradley Wilson in the pit lane. Actually, no, he stays out. He opts to stay out. He had just gotten the lead over Aiden Young, and I think he might be the only driver staying out. I don't see Aiden Young with him. Actually, yes, Aiden Young is there. Okay. I didn't know if maybe these guys had all stayed out or if it was just one. The camera just wasn't showing the rest of the field, but a lot of drivers are actually going to stay out and really shake things up. The entire, looks like, top 7 or so will stay out on these tires and opt to keep them on for this, looks like about 5, maybe 4 lap shootout to the end. So we'll get one more look back at that wreck. We'll go back to the number 27 of Trevor Harmon first. Get an instant replay here on him. I'm not really sure what happens here, so we'll just have to watch from... actually, we're going to go to Robbie Buckner's onboard in just a moment. Actually, that may have showed us why that just happened. We'll have to go back and watch that, actually. We'll go a little bit further back. That may have been why right there. We'll see. From Trevor Harmon's onboard. If there's contact made here, that may explain it. No, actually, just gets into the corner, makes the pass. No contact made. They're still battling out of turn 4. I think it was just a little bit of aggression there. And I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if Robbie Buckner just missed the corner. We'll get a look here at it, I suppose. We'll have to go to the onboard shot here. And I won't speculate any further than I'm going to show the replay, but we'll see what happens with the number 94. Well, we'll leave that one there. And look ahead to the number 51. Still your leader, about to restart here from Gateway. Just got the 1 to green signal from the flagman this time. And the pace car's lights are out. Bradley Wilson will still have the advantage over Aiden Young and Spence Thompson. I'm even going to bring up the top 5 just to show you any shakeups that go on this restart. Spence Thompson will be restarting 3rd, Craig Lerman in 4th, Corey Walters in 5th. In 6th position is going to be David Heiza. 7th looks like will be Terry Mason. And 8th, I believe, is going to be Derek Robinson. So I just want to remind you guys that this is an off-season race. So, you know, the field's a little bit smaller than normal. Normally, these guys will be filling out a 32-car field. Normally, the field is far, far, far larger than this. But currently about 11 trucks still running here at Gateway Motorsports Park. For the last 4 laps of this 100-lap event, these guys have been racing for 96 laps now, and it's all come down to this. Bradley Wilson on the loud pedal, going to get going out of turn 4. Already has a huge advantage over Spence Thompson. Again, that's the restart rule in the NMNTS. The leader has the privilege almost over the rest of the field. If you made it to the lead, obviously you're doing something right. It's not impossible to pass that leader, obviously. There's still tight corners, and Bradley Wilson was able to do it on that last run. But now, coming to 3.5 laps to go, Spence Thompson doing battle with Aiden Young. And a caution in the back, that's going to be the race, actually. I don't see the 27 continuing on. It may not be him, but we'll check. That is going to conclude the event here, but I'm not sure who that accident was on. Maybe the 75? I think that was a 75 car, so we'll go back and watch what happens to Terry Mason. He's definitely wrecked there in the wall. Looks like there was something happening up ahead. So we'll watch what happens with Terry Mason. He's running around Ryan Daniels and Derek Robinson, as well as Michael Redding getting into the battle. I don't know what's going to happen here at all, so we'll just watch firsthand. And I think they were all just trying to squeeze and didn't have the room to do it. Derek Robinson involved, Michael Redding involved. Ryan Daniels gets through unscathed. He'll finish 7th on the night. But Terry Mason, all wadded up there, will go to his onboard this time and watch what happens here. I think he was just trying to make room up there, or at least probably make room on the bottom side for the 52, but that actually almost tells a different story. This time we'll watch it. We'll watch the number 2 and his on board. I think Terry and Michael just kind of got together. I don't think there was any malicious intent there at all. It looks like they just got together down the back straightaway into turn 3. Nonetheless, though, there was a pretty big incident. Terry Mason, his night is over. He'll end up finishing, it looks like, 11th position, just outside the top 10. Trevor Harmon will hang on to a top 10 spot. Like I mentioned, it looks like Ryan Daniels will come home in about 7th. Actually, no, it's going to move him back to 9th. He had the spot over the 2 in the 818. I'm not sure why iRacing gave them their spots back, but still Ryan Daniels is going to hang on to that top 10 position. So it's a strong night for him to come out here with 0 practice and put something together. He hangs on, keeps the truck relatively clean. And I tell you what, I noted at the top of the show, Bradley Wilson was probably the hungriest driver here in the NMNTS Truck Series and loves this racetrack, loves coming here no matter what car it's in. I think you could bring him here in a shopping cart and he'd probably love the heck out of it. So, you know, he was kind of my pick to win this thing, I won't lie. You know, I expected him to come out of this place with, if not a W, then at least a very, very high finish. And I'll tell you what, Bradley Wilson going to come home with the win over Aiden Young and Spence Thompson. The caution helped him out, but he certainly had a strong truck, maybe the strongest. We'll actually check in on the fastest lap of the night, and that was definitely Bradley Wilson by about a 10th or more over everyone else. So Bradley Wilson coming through the final little bit here under caution will end up taking the W here tonight over, again, Aiden Young, Spence Thompson. The Bacola, Oklahoma driver takes it home in the Pedigree Chevrolet, and that's going to be big for WFO Motorsports heading into 2018. As far as the rest of the field here tonight, Aiden Young will finish 2nd. Spence Thompson in 3rd. Craig Lerman will bring it home 4th with Corey Walters wrapping up your top 5 here tonight. David Heiser in 6th. Derek Robinson in the number 818 truck in 7th. Michael Redding in 8th. Ryan Daniels in 9th. And Trevor Harmon in the 10th position. Among the drivers who didn't make it across the finish line for the final time tonight, going to be Terry Mason in the number 75, Jared Beasley in the 15, Robbie Buckner, as well as Travis Pryor and Jared Wishon all started the race, did not finish the event. I'm not sure what happened to the number 96 of Jared Wishon. I know we saw it earlier, and I think I just totally forgot. But moving on, Bradley Wilson, I assume, is going to burn it down here at Gateway. And a commanding win from that number 51 here tonight. Real quick before we get the top 3 interviews underway, as these guys continue to burn it down on the front straightaway, we're going to bring up a guy who was involved in a bit of an incident earlier on. It's going to be Trevor Harmon. So Trevor Harmon, this is Andrew up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
10-4, sir. I got you.
Well, Trevor, you hail from the same hometown as me, and tell you what, it's pretty awesome. I mentioned that at the top of the show, but nonetheless, aside from that little bit, you know, out of Arizona tonight, and you came here, you haven't really met a whole lot of starts with these guys. I know you started out at our home track of Phoenix. Just tell us about so far trying to get used to this high-paced league here at NMNTS.
Oh, you know what? It truly is amazing, and racing against all these guys, it's made me a better driver, and it's so much fun. I can't even express how fun it is. Hopefully, I can get a little bit better and keep up with these guys a little bit more, and keep the bad luck out of my out of my way. I had a little bit more bad luck tonight, but hopefully this year starts a new thing for me. And I really appreciate everything you guys do, and Bradley Wilson and Ken for the series, and I'm so excited I couldn't even tell you.
Well, Trevor, it was a bit of a maybe a dismal run for you out here tonight at Gateway. I saw you had some early trouble, and then we saw something go on a little while ago, and I just want to get your side on it. What happened there with Robbie Buckner off into turn one?
I just from the way that I looked at it is he didn't expect me to check up as quick as I did, and just kind of got into the back of me. I thought I had it saved, but then it looked like he got really tight after that and kind of put us both on the wall. I mean, it is what it is. It's it's another practice race, and we test our limits a little bit more.
For sure. Well, Trevor, thanks for coming up here, getting that out of the way. Just wanted to get your side on things before we got off into the top 3 interviews. So thanks for coming out here and racing tonight. Best of luck to you in the future.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Again, that was Trevor Harmon out of Bullet City, Arizona. And next up, we're going to bring up third place finisher Spence Thompson. So, Spence Thompson, this is Andrew Cardinale in the PSI TV booth. Do you have a copy?
Yes, I do, Andrew.
Well, Spence, tell you what, you're the 2016 champion here in the NMNTS Racing Series, and you did a heck of a job just hanging on for a pretty good finishing spot there in third place. You maybe weren't the fastest truck all night, but you certainly had a piece under you. So, what can you tell us about what you did in that number 89 tonight?
Absolutely, man. It was, yeah, like I said, it wasn't the class of the field by any means, man. I mean, at best, we probably had a third to fourth to fifth place car, something like that tonight. But kept her on one piece tonight. Got the wall a little bit off turn 2 early on in the race, but that honestly, it didn't even seem to slow us down at all. We were still able to kind of battle inside the top 5 with Redding and Lerman and all them up there all night. But a lot of them might have had a shot at the lead late right there, but Bradley Wilson and Aiden Young, man, those two were the class of the field tonight, man. Aiden getting his stage win, Bradley getting his stage win, and yeah, just phenomenal driving by both of them guys. But great job by our group of guys here tonight for this 89 team tonight in the preseason here for us. But getting ready to be all set to go for 2018 this season. So couldn't be happier though for all these guys on this team though tonight.
I'll tell you what, Spence, you certainly look strong as always. So real quick before we let you go and get Aiden up here, who makes it happen? Who puts that truck underneath you?
Oh man, all these guys on this WFO Motorsports team. We're running the AC Delco scheme tonight, but got to give a big thanks to all the support from American Revolutionary Clothing, man. They do a good job of supporting this team. I got to thank Kenneth Yance, John Barron, all the guys at Motorsim Racing Magazine for supporting this team as well. Big thanks to Bradley Wilson for doing what he does with this league and all that, all the hard work that he puts into it. You up in the booth tonight as well. You did a great job as usual up there, providing the coverage for your fans out there as well and our fans as well of this league. And real quick, lastly though, man, I mean, if anybody deserved this win tonight, man, it was Brad. Going almost 2 years without a win in this league and being able to win in his own league finally, it's pretty amazing for him, and I feel really happy as hell for him, dude. It's a cool thing for him, and hopefully it'll be a good sign of things to come for this whole group of guys for this 2018 season.
For sure. Well, it was a lot of fun watching you out there tonight, Spence. Great job getting that third place finish, and we're looking for more of you hopefully this next weekend, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, when we pick up some of those races.
Absolutely, Andrew. Thanks again.
And again, ladies and gentlemen, that was Spence Thompson in the number 89 AC Delco Chevrolet with help from American Revolutionary Clothing, WFO Motorsports, and BA Graphics. Now moving on to the second place finisher tonight, that's going to be Aiden Young. Aiden Young, this is Andrew Cardinale in the PSI TV booth. Do you have a copy?
I got you.
Well, Aiden, you ran a stellar stage one. You ran a stellar race overall, really. There can't be anything to really complain about. Great job out there tonight racing with Bradley Wilson. and Spence Thompson there at the end. You know, Bradley was able to best you eventually, but you definitely led a ton of laps out here tonight, so great job. I saw Ryan Daniels giving you a congratulatory tap there at the end of the race, so just, you know, a great run out of that number 9 truck. So, you know, what can you tell us about your perspective of things in that number 9 Hope for Paws Chevrolet?
It was just a solid truck on my. It's good to know that I can handle this truck now that, you know, I can run confident at Gateway now. I haven't been great here that much, so we'll see next season. Hopefully I gain enough trust to maybe help me at Daytona or Talladega when we get there.
Well, Aiden, I dare say you're looking pretty good with that Jaeger Racing number 9 Chevrolet, and I know you've got a ton of support from your teammates Zach Kreiser, Matthew Welsenbach, and Sawyer Ott, so best of luck to you in 2018. Who else makes it happen for you in that number 9?
Just my whole family, the Jaeger crew, the sponsors, and just me doing my best I can out here.
Well, Aiden, you certainly did pretty good, so once more, congrats on the second place finish and the stage win in stage number 1. And we'll be looking forward to seeing you, you know, race some more here in the NMNTS offseason. Great show tonight in that number 9, and great run from you.
Well, thank you. Thank you. You'll certainly see more of me.
All right, and that was Aiden Young in the number 9 Hope for Paws Chevrolet from the Jaeger Racing shop. Next up, we're going to bring in race winner Bradley Wilson. Bradley Wilson, this is Andrew Cardinale in the PSI TV booth. Do you have a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, Brad, we were just talking to you just a little while ago. It was only 20 laps time, but ended up being a little while. So, you know, first off, just a great run in stage 2 and in stage 3 to make it happen. You were able to get by that number 9 of Aiden Young and hang on for the race win. So, great job there. What can you tell us about your perspective, those last few laps, that last run?
Well, man, first of all, my hat's off to Aiden. He's a hell of a little driver. 16 years old, a lot of respect. It was very nice to come out here and get to run him clean. You know, those first 40 laps, and pretty much that first 40 laps for me, we were just kind of trying to sum up what we were going to do there. I thought to myself, I'm going to follow this kid and see if I can exploit anything that I may be able to use if it comes down to it at the end. And I could see him downshifting in 3 and 4. A lot of people like to do that here. Me personally, I don't. I feel like I save the rear tires a little better and keep the truck underneath me and just overall, you know, have control of it. So I knew that if I could arc it in up high and then arc the bottom, come off hard and straight, that I may be able to get a run on him going down the front stretch. And we took what we learned in the first 40 laps and applied it there. Luckily, got that pass for the win.
Well, I'll tell you what, Bradley, it was a great show from you in that number 51 pedigree truck tonight out of the WFO Motorsports shop. Who else makes it happen for you? Who puts that truck underneath you and puts that great skin on it?
Oh man! First of all, like I said, we got to thank all the teammates at WFO: Spence, Robbie, Zach, the associated team with Riot Motorsports, and Joseph Anduar, who I can't wait to have back out here on the track with us. You know, Terry Mason, all them guys. Like I said, just too many people to count. Don't want to leave anybody out. And once again, like I said, I want to thank my beautiful wife for the hard work she puts in at BA Graphics with me, joint effort. And actually, everybody kind of jokes around with me about the B's always silent. So, but yeah, can't thank my beautiful wife enough for making these trucks look good going around the track.
Well, Bradley, it certainly looked great taking home the win here tonight. So, congrats on getting the win and stage number 2. And it was a lot of fun watching. Once more, I just want to congratulate you on that great run. And, you know, it's got to spell great things for 2018. So we'll be looking forward to seeing more of you here in the future on PSI TV.
Yes, sir. We sure appreciate it. Thanks for doing all this, Andrew. I've got to give a shout out to you too, man. PSI TV, number one in broadcasting the business in my books.
Oh, shucks. Well, I appreciate it, Bradley. We'll get back down there, get you with your team, and debrief on this night here at Gateway Motorsport Park. And once more, just congrats on the win.
Appreciate it, brother. Thanks.
and that was Bradley Wilson and the number 51 pedigree Chevrolet from the WFO Motorsports shop. So once more, congratulations to Bradley on the win and everyone else out here for running a great, clean race. Most notably, the top three, really, Bradley Wilson, Aiden Young, Spence Thompson. Just a great race up in the front. And all around, really, there was a lot of great battles going on that, I really enjoyed watching. So very good job, everyone involved, for just putting on a great show tonight here. And one more time, we're going to go over the results here tonight in the race summary. But first up, the results: Bradley Wilson will take home the win. Aiden Young just behind him in second place. Spence Thompson, Craig Lerman, Corey Walters will round out your top five. And David Heisler comes home in sixth. A great sleeper run from him in that number 7 Hallmark International Chevrolet. Derek Robinson in the number 818 brings it home in seventh place, with Michael Redding, Ryan Daniels, and Trevor Harmon rounding out your top 10. Among the 5 guys that were here tonight but didn't finish the show, Terry Mason, Jared Beasley, Robbie Buckner, Travis Pryor, and Jared Wishon make up the rest of your top 15. And there were a few guys that joined in but didn't make the show tonight. Those would be Tyler Justice, Clayton Kurtz, and Kelsey Rogers. Now, real quick, as we let you go, looks like actually we got a poke there, but I won't get that out of the way. Real quick, the race summary. We ended up having only 3 lead changes on the night, 6 cautions, excluding 2 for the stage breaks. Means we had 4 overall cautions because of green flag events. So, a very clean race, over 100 laps to only have 4 cautions. Definitely want to give a shout out to everyone involved. It was a great race to watch on my end and be able to commentate. So hopefully it was just as good for everyone watching. And just want to thank all of our sponsors real quick: GoPro Motorplex, David Levine Racing, the NMNTS Racing Series, obviously, as well as the All-Star Sim Racing Series, the Dirt Racing Challenge Series that we'll be broadcasting tomorrow night from Williams Grove, Oliver Mobile Fleet Repair, Scott Brotherton Images, Glenn Richards Designs, TN Designs, BA Graphics, SimSpec PC, Pit Stop Insider. There's so many. I just want to thank everyone for putting all of their support into PSI TV and making it what it is today. If you haven't already, definitely like the page and give us a rate. It only helps. So thanks everyone for coming out and watching tonight. Thanks all the drivers for putting on that great show. And tomorrow night you can catch us live once more with the 360 sprint cars here on iRacing from Williams Grove. And that's all for tonight. Thanks everyone for watching. See you tomorrow.